Have you seen or heard about the famous thriller series Squid Game? Yes or no? Either way, you need to hear this. Because this is not a game. This is the real-life nightmare that may have inspired it. This is the story of the Brothers' Home, a so-called welfare center meant for rehabilitation. Yet behind closed doors, it became a site of unimaginable cruelty for over 40,000 people. Or, if I quote Squid Game, more than 40,000 players. Let's rewind history. The 1950s. The Korean War had ended, leaving the country in ruins. South Korea's dictator Park Chung-hee launched a controversial modernization program. His mission to make cities look like the major cities of the West, to transform the nation into a powerhouse, one that could rival the cities of the West. Well, if he had seen Western cities today, he might have let it be. And how did he plan to do it? By cleansing the streets. Under his orders, officials began rounding up so-called vagrants, the homeless, beggars, and, if that wasn't bad enough, even unattended children. Where were they taken? 36 facilities across the country, but the largest of them all was in Busan. It was called the Brothers' Home, a welfare institution by name, but in reality, it was Korea's own concentration camp. As South Korea prepared to showcase itself to the world, hosting the Asian Games and the Seoul Olympics, the cleansing intensified. And you thought the Qatar World Cup had human rights issues? Think again. From the 1970s to the late 1980s, over 40,000 people were locked inside the Brothers' Home, under the rule of a ruthless dictator, Park In-gun. Inside these walls, prisoners were subjected to brutal beatings, forced unpaid labor, starvation, and even sexual abuse. While they suffered, Park In-gun grew rich through unpaid labor. At least 657 people died, buried, forgotten. For years, the horrors continued, unchecked, unpunished, until 1987, when one man stepped forward, Kim Yong-won, a prosecutor with the courage to expose the truth. By 1988, the Brothers' Home was finally shut down. And what about Park In-gun, the tyrant responsible for decades of abuse, torture, and death? Did he face justice? Did he pay for his crimes? No. He was convicted of embezzlement, just 2.5 years in prison. A real-life nightmare. No games, no prize, just pure evil.